An author goes on Radio-Canada's airwaves to denounce violence against women. Radio-Canada puts a clip of her segment on its social media. This causes men and members of Quebec's reactionary media to lose their fucking minds. They mobilize, swarm her. They go into her direct messages and they threaten her with violence that is both physical and sexual in nature. One man tells her she better hope nobody finds her. A bunch of men suggest someone should ejaculate in her face. In the face of this, Radio-Canada, they pull the clip from their social media without telling the author or the host of the radio show she was on. In other words, they took the side of the abusers. Some context. The author, Elisabeth Lemay, sorry, that's my kid. She's homesick from school. She is one of the best emerging novelists in Quebec. She's an award-winning writer. She goes on a show called De l'huile sur le feu, and she talks about the crisis of male loneliness. It's one of those issues we talk about in connection to the rise of these men's rights movements like Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, these people who mobilize angry young men. Her take on that is that maybe the crisis of male loneliness isn't a bad thing. Maybe it reflects a situation where more and more women don't feel forced to be in relationships with toxic men. Because, unlike, say, 50, 60, 70 years ago, women have their own jobs now. Women can vote. Women don't have to ask their husband's permission to have a bank account. Did she push her arguments into a place that makes a lot of men and even some women uncomfortable? Yeah, she did. But the reality is that we have seen an explosion in violence against women in Quebec over the last couple of years. In 2015, Quebec's provincial police dealt with roughly 4,000 complaints of intimate partner violence. 10 years later, that number more than doubled to 10,000 cases. There have been 6 suspected femicides in the first 6 weeks of 2026. A femicide is when a woman is murdered by a current or former domestic partner, or she's murdered because she's a woman. Nearly half of women experience intimate partner violence. Nearly half of women experience sexual violence. And nearly half of women who are murdered are killed by a current or former domestic partner. Generally, that's a man. There is no comparable statistic involving men. Ultimately, Radio-Canada had to apologize for this, and the host of the show, Rebecca McConnell, apologized as well, even though she didn't do anything. But all of this sidesteps an extremely important conversation, which is what are we doing as men to make a difference, to be better, to be more accountable? Because if so many women are experiencing this level of violence, that means that probably a guy you know has sexually assaulted a woman or beat a woman or maybe will one day kill a woman. And if we're not having that conversation, what the fuck are we doing?